Greetings, Commander. Receiving incoming transmission.
The time of our final strike against the Confederacy is close at hand. Before we can strike at Tarsonis itself, however, we must break through the Confederacy's most potent defenses. General Duke will brief you.
I've defended Tarsonis in over 30 major battles, so I know its defenses inside and out. There are 3 primary orbital platforms that serve as staging areas for the Confederate fleet. If we assault the central platform, we should cause enough of a ruckus to allow a small force to break through the planetary defenses.
General, I'm impressed. I never figured you for the frontal assault type.
Well, the Confederates have Omega and Delta Squadron troops defending the platform. They're nothing compared to my Alpha Squadron boys.
Right.
Hi everyone, welcome back to Let's Play Starcraft and welcome to the Edmund Duke's Overpowered Battlecruiser Variety Hour. This is the NORAD 2, NORAD 3's Brood War, we're getting on a bit here, and she is brutally overpowered. I think she has 3 natural armor and each of her lasers, both air to ground and ground to air, both do 50 damage, so she can one-shot infantry units, so...
Alpha Squadron never would have left this equipment behind. That's what I call sloppy.
Yeah, well, they probably didn't have access to a completely overpowered battlecruiser either, but they're not crying about it. But since we do have access to an overpowered battlecruiser, I'm going to do the Edmund Duke challenge for this level. Now, what the Duke challenge is, you basically just kill as much as you possibly can, not limited to taking over the entire base of your opponent using just Edmund Duke. Now, this mission sort of handholds you towards ghosts. It gives you 2 nuclear silos right at the start of the mission, and it gives you a science lab as well, with a covert ops facility. So you are completely sort of, you know, it's trying desperately to shoehorn you into going ghost. However, there really is no need.
Make up your mind. What? Well, been a general for 15 years. Now I'm taking orders from a pup. This core hull outfit's a mess. Y'all need some good old-fashioned discipline. That's what you need.
And he's still a grumpy SOB, but hey, what do you know? Anyway, you can take over the enemy add-ons just by landing next to them. It's weird, the buildings still count as hostile, so your troops will just automatically shoot at them, but you can just steal them, and that's the thing that I've done here. I would like a scanning facility. Not covert ops, contact station. Now we start off the mission supply blocked. This isn't just me, so do that. We also start off with 2 ghosts. So yeah, the mission seriously is trying to shoehorn you into going ghost, and I will show off some of the ghosts, but for the most part, I'm not going to be going down that route. I'm just going to go the and Duke's off to a flying start. I'm just going to go sort of the standard route I want to go here, just battlecruiser followed by a Wraith Marine swarm is more than likely going to be what happens here. Or maybe a Goliath Wraith swarm or something like that. It'll be something along those lines, but for the most part, Duke's battlecruiser is going to be doing the vast majority of the damage. And what makes it good about using just Duke's battlecruiser is that you can one-base the mission. Because all you need to do is just build units while Duke curb stomps everything. So we've already got access to the science facility. Obviously, we've already got access to the science festival because of that, and we can build ghosts. But we're just going to build up the economy like we would normally here, and since we're producing out of 2 command centres, we should be able to get the economy up and running very quickly. getting a pretty large amount of minerals. The problem is I think we only have one refinery, and if that's the case, then it's going to be pretty difficult if we wanted to actually just go straight ghost, because ghosts are pretty heavily Vespene needed, because I think it's 100 to research the cloak, 100 for the increased visual range, which you will need if you don't want to kill your own ghost using a nuke. I think it's 200 for the additional energy, and so you're talking 400 there. It's 200 for every nuclear missile, and it's 75 for every ghost. So you're talking, for your first nuke, you're talking 675 Vespene gas, which that's a pretty massive investment, and all the minerals that go into it as well. So it's like you better get your money's worth out of that. Let's just put it this way. And here we go. We have a Donnybrook right away. I'm going to kill this Goliath straight up because that could genuinely be annoying. Line them up, shoot them down. If we're talking about resources lost here, what was that? Like 12 Marines and 13 Marines and a Goliath already down, so... Yeah, Duke's just ridiculously overpowered, and really... often you're like, these guys must survive, we're going to be careful with them. No, we're really not going to be careful with them. Duke is going to be doing an awful lot of killing. Let's get that refinery down, because we're going to need the Vespene gas just to repair Duke. Because he is going to take a beating in this mission, there's absolutely no doubt about that. Because, the enemy is very, very numerous, and even Marines, when they're stimmed, can do some damage to a Battlecruiser. It helps that he has really high armor. It's like once you start researching armor, he becomes all but immune to Marines. They'll do one damage per round, which to something with 700 health is not exactly a big deal. And once I get to level 1 weapons, he'll one-shot fire bats as well as Marines. I don't think he ever gets to the point where he can one-shot an SCV, because SCVs have 60 health, and I think the highest his weapon damage goes up to is 59. But either way, it's still a pretty stupidly high amount of damage that he can do. And of course, fire bats aren't exactly a threat to him anyway. But the only threat that fire bats are to the SCVs that you send out with him, so that you can just heal him on the fly. Because for the moment, I'm bringing him back into the base, but I am, for the moment I'm bringing him back into the base, but for later escapades, I'm going to want to have him push out with the Marines and with SCVs on his own. So let's just keep building up our economy here. I am supply blocked again, so let's get that moving. There's been some rather interesting thoughts regarding General Duke. There's no real... the sort of continuity on him kind of has him as almost a general who doesn't deserve his commission. He's kind of been promoted to being a general without really having the qualifications for it. Whereas if you hear his thing that he said earlier, he's like, been a general for 15 years. Well, the idea is, or at least one of the things that we're hearing, is that he hasn't been a general for 15 years. So whether he's just saying that in his annoying thing to try and get under our skin, I don't know. What I should have done, I should have aimed that Yamato cannon at the missile launcher. The bunker isn't really a big threat. Anything that comes out of it will just die. But you see in here, this is ridiculous. There's absolutely nothing that can touch this Battlecruiser. So I'm just literally just sitting here just picking Marines off constantly. And the odd Goliath which decides to try it slow. You can see Goliaths are only doing, what is that? Is that 12? Yeah. The Goliaths are doing 12 damage per shot with those missiles, which I'm pretty sure do more than that. And here we go, Marines are beginning to flood out of the bunker again. Oh, go on, I'll hit this firebat as well. Stay away from the missile turret. I mean, I could take it out quite easily, but you know, damage done here, so retreat and repair. And this is going to be the storm. And as you can see, I've let my money get ridiculously high already. And oh, this is embarrassing. I'm under attack by wraiths already. Duke, can you deal with this? With your 37 kills already. Okay, that looks alright. And I'm gonna... I could probably produce out of 4 racks at this point if I wanted to just go Marines. I could certainly produce out of at least 3. So I could just produce an utterly enormous swarm of Marines if I wanted to. But anyway, Duke's on the prowl again. Aren't you glad I edited this down? Yeah, this is definitely the slow way to do this mission, but it's certainly, for me, it's certainly the most fun way to do it, because it just shows off. It's like, you shouldn't have given me this shit. And now I'm bringing the SCVs out with it because I've pushed them back and away from my base. I don't anticipate seeing them attacking me anytime soon. But you know, I'm not using minerals on units that are getting killed at this point, so you know, there's no real push going on here. Bang, there goes another one. I can just imagine just seeing this Marine just explode into, you know, just there is nothing left of this Marine because this high-powered laser has just vaporized him. And my SCVs have just caused the firebats to come out, and I'm not paying any kind of attention, and now I can't click on them because they're underneath my Battlecruiser. So that was rather awkward, and I ended up losing 2 SCVs. Well, that's my first losses, basically, of this sort of battle. I can take this on. I think I just want revenge on that firebat, that's all. Now, this is a respectable force. But don't worry, I got this, I got this. Oh, more Marines. Nope, still got this. Still got this. I think I've still got this. Yep. He obviously got a Dear John letter or something this morning, and he just wants to end it now. Okay, so I'm just going to literally just queue up and start producing billions of Marines now, and putting down supply depots, etc., because I've got the money to do it. And let's get an armory down. I can probably only do 1 upgrade at a time at this point because I'm still limited on Vespene gas. I'm going to need to expand in order to... get another Vespene geyser and then start producing... not battlecruisers, but you know, start doing double upgrades. To do dub ups, you usually need. You're usually going to need you're usually going to need 2 Vespene geysers. And a few Marines just tried to try their luck, and I'm completely ignoring my own advice and putting down a second armory, which I think is too much at this point. Unless I just want to produce absolutely nothing but Marines, I think that it's too much. And now we just start putting down the supply depots, because boy are we going to need these if we're mass producing Marines. Wow, the NORAD 2 really got hurt in that last fight. I think I kind of messed up a little there, but I am researching ship weapons 1 so we can get his own back on firebats. And don't think I won't be sending all these Marines to their deaths. Now, to be honest, I should just ignore Ghosts here, but I decided that I wanted to at least show nukes off to a little, you know, to a little bit. And I'm also seeing here that I've not got enough FCVs mining Vespene, so I am going to add a couple to the pile. while I keep building these supply depots. I definitely need a couple more. Definitely need a couple more SCVs in Vespene Refinery there, because I shouldn't be having this gap. It should basically just constantly be ticking up by 8. You can overdo it for sure, but I think that that's okay. And now I'm researching plating as well as weapons. So once Duke gets to 1-1, he becomes an even bigger pain in the arse, and then obviously he gets to 3-3, at which point he's pretty much indestructible. And this is, I think this is me just mainly trying to go, I will spend my supply. No, it's like just keep pumping out them Marines, and eventually once I've got some Vespene, I can produce 3-3 Wraiths, or I can produce Goliaths or something like that. But at the moment, being really Vespene starved, I think that the best thing to do is just go infantry. And of course I haven't built an armory or an engineering bay yet. It's like sucking up the place hard. I was wondering why I couldn't build missile turrets, but hey. Not that I'd want to build missile turrets anyway. And I've got dancing SCVs again here. So at the moment, everyone's still kind of on board with the message. I believe that at this point, Kerrigan and Raynor have given in to their emotions, as it were. Basically, Kerrigan feels... At this point, Kerrigan's feeling extremely guilty about what happened on Antigua, unleashing the Zerg on the Confederacy. And so she's... basically, Raynor and her have found consolation in each other, shall we say. At this point, obviously, in the game, you don't get any sort of idea that that's happened, but I believe that's what's been retconned into the game, shall we say, at this point, so, or retconned into the storyline. Whoa! Somebody didn't appreciate me dropping in like this. Still, gonna try and get Duke into his 3-figure kills. Man, this would have been a pain in the ass to assault with a normal strike force. Oh, you're not going anywhere. I see my first level weapons just finished. You know what, I'm just gonna sit here firing at stuff. Let's get some SCVs. Let's get some more Marines. I don't have enough of those. And I don't think my opponent has enough of those either at this point.
Reporting for duty. Orders received.
I'm just going to grab these SCVs and walk them up here. The two that come out can go back to mining minerals. It's not like I'm short on minerals at this point. And there's the nuclear silo.
SCV good to go, sir.
And I'll need to research cloak, and I don't need increased energy on the Ghost, but hey. And I'm actually going to give myself 2 nukes in case I do decide to go nutso with nukes. I just want to have a couple of them. But you know, 200's expensive. Plus the fact they need a Ghost to fire them. It's quite a big deal.
Upgrade complete.
It's 150 for the increased reactor, and you can see again I'm really Vespene starved at this point. So you're beginning to get the idea. But as we say, Duke is slowly but surely whittling away at the opposition. Okay, so that's cloak being researched.
Make up your mind.
Pretty much just doing nothing but researching at this point. I really should be producing even more Marines. Bang, there goes another missile turret. Yeah, the Yamato cannon's got ridiculously huge. Well, this is embarrassing. And this is one of the problems I definitely have when I play this game. I spend way too long just watching the action, when Really, what I should have is just a control group of Marines on standby just to deal with crap like this. It's not like I don't have enough Marines, jeez. Okay, I decided to increase my Ghost's energy. But I'm not going to need that in order for this to work, so... Allow me to show you da nuke. Cloak. And nuclear strike there seems about right.
Nuclear launch detected.
Thing is, it's like an observant Terran at this point would just comsat where the ghost is and just launch all his Marines at that ghost. But again, the AI is obviously sort of crippled to make you use nukes in this mission, so sayonara. And that's your job for the day done. Tell you what, let's have another nuke just in case I get the itch to do another one. But, you know, even though that was a really nicely placed nuke, it still didn't get back the money that was used on it, I don't think. It got like, well, maybe it got about 450 minerals for it, like 3 supply depots and 3 Marines. So it did get something, but it didn't get much for its cost. You really need to have a, you know, it needs to be a super good nuke to get back all the resources that you've invested in it. So, you know, it's not really a use a ton of weapon for me, but that has pretty much done in the Confederacy forces around this area. No, not vehicles, ship weapons, because Duke needs more firepower. How can you not have them? And why are those Marines arranged in sort of a, well, it's almost a heart formation? Beginning to mind myself out here. That's how long this has taken, and that's why you are hopefully glad that I am doing jump cuts. But as I said, I wanted to sort of just show off how utterly ridiculous Duke is and go from here. So I will, you know, at this point I should really just swarm in with that pile of Marines that I have. Oh, and here's an extra fun fact. Duke can outrange a bunker or a Marine in a bunker. So he has double the fun, basically. I've got the Vespene now to do ship plating too as well, which will pretty much... And as you can see here, he's beginning to take less and less damage now for every run he does. Pow, there goes another missile turret. 123 kills, decent start. But I'm hoping he's going to get more than that. But there probably will come a point where I just get bored with this and just decide to end the level. But for now, I'm just going to stick with my overpowered, stupid Battlecruiser. No, my SCVs! You get back here. You get back here and get what's coming to you. And let's upgrade ship armour as well. And I'll finally start upgrading my infantry, I guess. Just put stim down. I can't actually, you know, I'm really looking forward to when I get to play Brood War and I get to Medic Marine. Or, you know, Starcraft 2 and Medic Marine. Either way, I just want to Medic Marine because I just feel like that was a dumb thing to introduce, was Medic Marine, because there's really not much reason to do anything else in a lot of situations. Yeah, here we go. It's like, bored now, Marine's gonna kill you. And I'm going for a double eBay as well because it's a because I haven't got any of my early armor and weapon enhancements yet. So I guess I want to get my dudes going. make them actually slightly useful.
Well, you want a piece of me, boy?
Research complete.
Can you repair that, please?
Checked up and good to go.
Your forces are under attack.
Oh, I see my Marines have started already. Yeah, this is the problem. This is definitely a problem. You can see, like, my Marines just decide to waltz in without my permission. Now, the thing is, what I should do, or what you should do when you have them in a group, I've kind of ruined the whole thing here, but what you should do when you have them in a group is you should set them to hold position, because otherwise they will just go chasing after everything, and that's kind of what's happened here. And now Duke's in a mess. Let's try and drag them out here. Yeah, that was a complete disaster, basically caused by Marines not holding position. And this is something that you really have to watch out for, because the units in this game are just dumb, and they will go chasing after anything that attacks them. That they will just go straight into the Valley of Death without you even ordering them to. So, well, that didn't work very well, but it did clear out a lot of Marines. So now I'm going to build on that success. There goes another SCV. Yeah, Duke can have level 3 weapons, why not? Why not indeed? And let's have some armor for my Marines. They weren't even 1-1 Marines anyway, they were bog standard basic Marines. There's plenty more where they came from, so let's get them rebuilt and get going. But yeah, actually I think the worst unit for that, for the Terrans, is Wraiths. Wraiths just completely chase anything. It's so annoying when you're commanding Wraiths. They just chase absolutely everything. If you're playing as Zerg Mutalists, do exactly the same thing. They just charge after anything. To be honest, Battlecruisers will do the same things, but Battlecruisers are so slow that you can, and they've got such huge firepower that if 3 or 4 of them do go chasing after something, you don't really mind, because that something will more than likely be dead very shortly. Got some more Marines there.
Upgrade complete.
I'm reaching the point now where I'm like, yeah, I'm just gonna kill everything and just start expanding, I think, now. Because I'm running out of minerals at my main base, because I have just taken forever over this. But when you're playing against the AI, you do have the luxury of taking forever over stuff. But it's not like the AI is actually a threat. And Duke brings up his 150. And now, because I've got 2 armor, Marines are completely worthless against me. You can see they're just doing absolutely nothing, even though they're stimmed. So, yeah, we're all good.
Insufficient Vespene gas.
This mission is actually, for me, it's the turning point of the whole campaign. It's the turning point storyline-wise, but it's also it's the first mission where the opposition really... Actually, maybe it's the next mission. In this mission, the opposition don't really pull too many punches. You know, they're using siege tanks, they're using Goliaths. I think there might be a Battlecruiser somewhere in the level. So you're beginning to see things ramp up a little bit. Let's just get... And now Duke's going to take on these bases. We're actually into the main manufacturing hub part of the base now, so this is going to be quite simple from here on in. So let's get level 3 ship plating, and that also means that if I do produce Wraiths, you know, 3/3 Wraiths are pretty brutal. A group of 12 of them will just melt I think a group of 12 3/3 Wraiths will one-shot a siege tank, or at least get very close to it. So it's a pretty big deal, you know, having it's a pretty big deal being 3/3. And the armor is the fact that it has sort of, it's not really diminishing returns on it, because say Goliath does, I think it's 16 damage, is it? A Goliath does 16 damage with its missiles, and if you've got 3 armor, that goes down to 13 damage, and therefore it needs a lot more to actually kill a Wraith. It needs like 10 shots rather than 8, and those 10 shots, you know, they take a lot longer than 8 shots do. Okay, so we're going for 2/2 armor. Yeah, you can die. And it just makes the armor is actually deceptive in the fact that it doesn't feel like it's doing too much, or you don't think it's going to do an awful lot, but it actually does a lot more than you think it does. So I think Duke's going to end up taking out this base pretty much a cappella. Don't repair that. You get shot by laser if you try and repair that.
Upgrade complete.
I just like the idea of the Battlecruiser as like this huge flying death fortress. Can I send my Marines in yet? No, I've got my SCVs here. SCV go. Did I get Duke to 120 kills, man? Sorry, 200 kills. Oh god, siege tank. Yeah, Duke took out a siege tank before it could take out an SCV. That basically tells you an awful lot. Having said that though, because I've researched armor, the SCV now takes 3 shots to kill rather than 2 from a siege tank. And again, these things where things take those few extra shots to kill kind of make all the difference when you're in a survival situation.
Make up your mind.
I do like the way the Battlecruiser is done in Starcraft 2, I have to say, where it shoots, you know, instead of having this one sort of laser that it has which does moderate damage, it shoots a ton of ton of smaller lasers which don't do as much damage individually, but they do pile up. And yeah, this is the point where I think Duke has now made his point. So some glory hunting Marines are going to come in and sort of claim that they actually did something in this mission.
Upgrade complete.
Also, they are fast. I just find it hilarious that a group of Marines in power armor can run faster than a battlecruiser can fly. Let's face it, battlecruisers aren't really known for their maneuverability. Although certainly when they're in space, you certainly see when you look at the Starcraft 2 cinematics and all that, they do look pretty quick when they're on the move in space. But maybe they're just not built to. Maybe they're just not built to be in a planetary atmosphere. Who knows?
Not enough energy. Upgrade complete. Your
But
forces are
that,
under
I
attack.
believe... Oh, there's some stuff up there. Okay. Now, unfortunately, this mission is a you must destroy everything mission. So, you know, every last unit, every last building of the Confederacy has to be destroyed in this mission. I should probably just land my command center next to that comsat station rather than have to rebuild it. There's really no point in rebuilding it. Because you don't really gain anything by it. So, oh, I see they stole my tactics, did they? I've got some wraiths around here somewhere. Well, I've got Marines. Marines are good against battlecruisers, right? We've seen that earlier.
Your forces are under
Where are
attack.
my wraiths?
Well,
Duke, get back here, sort it. Yeah, I can build. See, I haven't researched lockdown on my ghosts either, so whoops, this all went wrong all of a sudden. Yeah, say goodnight, matey. And I should also cloak my wraiths here. So this has been a disaster. complete disaster, but never mind, Duke is here to save the day. He just comes in and just one-shots the Wraith. I mean, alright, the Wraith is damaged already, but it's just like, hey, guess who I am? I am Edmund Duke. Check out my big cannon.
Well,
Meanwhile, back to killing the enemy base. And we're going to expand up here.
Upgrade complete.
So yeah, that went about as poorly as can be expected. It was actually pretty much appalling, but you can see here this is a huge amount of minerals that have been left for us up here. So this is going to be a pretty big game for us overall, and with the destruction of this brown base, as it were, that pretty much ends this level as a contest, and pretty much all done with good old Duke's Battlecruiser here. Absolutely ridiculous. Duke himself, we're going to be seeing a bit more of him for sure. He's a he's a bit of a bell end, but he's not so he's not completely unlikable, just mostly. Level 3 armor. I think I've researched the upgraded range for marine weaponry. I think I have anyway. Let's just rally some SCVs up here. And they're still mining, so okay. I'll just rally some SCVs up here as well. Can never have too many SCVs. Okay, upgrading Wraiths again, and we're just going to go mass Wraith at this point. Because it does look like the enemy are using... Oh, I'm going to go Goliath as well from the... I'm going to go Goliath from the forge. Factory, whatever.
what?
We've got ourselves a nice little workaround here. And I finally get to build a ComSat station. I guess the AI figured that it would be a little bit it'd be a little bit bad if it gave you 2 nuclear silos and then just used a load of cloaking. I think it'd be hilarious, personally. It'd be a pretty awesome troll. But I guess this mission was supposed to be, here's ghosts, here are some nukes, whereas I've kind of used it as, here's a battlecruiser. Okay, and let's build ourselves a nice backup factory over here, just moving all my unit production to the front lines, because this is just going to be a massacre at this point. And here goes Duke again.
Base is under attack.
Notice just nothing is bothering him at this point. And the orange base kind of has siege tanks on high ground, that's their gimmick. Not really a very good gimmick when you are... God, these Marines melt stuff when they're 3-3s. It's not a very good gimmick when your opponent is a battlecruiser. There is just literally nothing any of this can do against a 3-3 Duke. Yep, keep doing your thing, boys. What's the definition? What's that definition of madness again? Keep doing the same thing and hoping that it works. Yep, you empty them assault rifles into the plated hull armor of a battlecruiser and see how that works for you. The little doodad on the battlecruiser. I mean, you've got to remember this is an old game now. I mean, we're talking, God, what are we talking? 15 years old, this game now. It's quite cool how they get like the engine, you know, the engine just lights up and everything like that. I think that, if I'm right, I honestly can't remember in Starcraft 2 if they actually had reversing engines on the battlecruiser as well. I know there's one recent game which has done that. They basically have... Oh no, it's not that. It's Nexus, isn't it? It's Nexus the Jupiter incident where they have engines on the back and engines on the front because they realise that when you're in space you can't just stop the engines in order to stop. You'll kind of keep going. Anyway, Duke's still doing his thing. He's now up to 217 kills. And I think I'm still producing Wraiths and Goliaths at the base, and that's basically the idea, and that's what I will eventually swarm in with, but for the moment I'm just going to keep picking off helpless infantry units. That's what a genius tactician does, goes after the weak point, which the weak point in this game is everything. Or at least the weak point in this base is absolutely everything. But additionally, because they're using siege tanks on high ground, it does make sense to assault them from the air. And this is the orange Terran is quite heavy mech. You know, there's siege tanks and Goliaths ahoy coming out from him, so that would be pretty difficult to punch through with just my one battlecruiser here. So I will definitely be... whoa! They brought the noise. They are bringing noise. 4 Goliaths, 5. You notice these missiles are just not doing the damage that they should do. You know, 5 Goliaths is actually a pretty it's a pretty decent force, but they're just not touching you really. I think I'm hoping I'm still producing Goliaths out of those factories because, you know. I might have walked into range of a missile turret there. Yeah, I'm just going to back off a little bit so I don't end up taking on a missile turret, because that would make me sad. Oh, a Marine. Boo! A SCV got to that factory. So just give it a love tap. Like, I like you really, but don't get in the way of my LAZOR. Yeah, I think battlecruisers in Starcraft 1 and Brood War, they do certainly have their uses, but I don't think that they're what they need to be. They should be able to, like they do in Starcraft 2, they should be able to just eagerly wipe out stuff. It's very strange to me how they would have made a battlecruiser have one weapon on it, which is only slightly more powerful than a Wraith's air-to-air missile. Okay, it doesn't make too much sense, really, that.
Your forces are under attack.
Oh well, that was a bad place for you to attack, and God almighty. I mean, it's okay they're not using siege mode, but I guess if he actually did use siege mode, they would they'd just be not firing for way too long, and the Marines would just cream them. Wandering in. It's okay to let them come to you. Obviously, just charging in here would be a mistake, but. Yep, I was definitely producing Goliaths while that was all going on. Definitely producing Goliaths. So these Goliaths and these Marines are going to join Duke for a fairly savage beatdown to finish off this level. And really, you know, once you've got 3/3 upgrades, you can just walk through pretty much everything. I think I get... One of the problems is that I do get a little bit impatient sometimes and I go before I'm massively upgraded, but there's really no need. You know, there really is no need not to just turtle up and smash your opponent really hard when you're playing the single-player campaign AI. Obviously, if you're playing against a human, you'll go for like 1-1 and 2-1 pushes, etc., trying to push your opponent back. But when you're playing the AI, you're attacking an entrenched position, so why wouldn't you take the biggest gun you possibly have? Yeah, this is just waltzing in. I am waltzing into your base and smashing all that is before me. And obviously the AI didn't bother to research siege mode for its tanks. Otherwise they wouldn't be getting absolutely devastated like they are at this point. Which is interesting to me because certainly in the campaign the AI is all, you know, for a lot of the campaign the AI is all too willing to use like super powered siege tanks. God, you only had 2 Marines in that bunker, that's pathetic. Oh well, stuff exploding. We just keep moving in a bit at a time. So you don't need to charge, you know, you don't need to absolutely charge for the center when you're attacking a, you know, when you are attacking a enemy. You do just salam. Well, what are known in Yes Minister as salami tactics, slice by slice. You don't have to take everything at once. You can just deal a crippling blow. And that's pretty much what this is. It wasn't to be honest, I was kind of disappointed. Certainly in the orange Terran, there really wasn't that much to resist us with. I think that by the time I got up here, there would be a lot more to resist us with. I was expecting like Battlecruisers and various other things going on here, but that has just simply not materialised. And with that command centre going down, I think they've got a factory back here because Goliaths do keep appearing, so that would seem to suggest a factory, yup, along with an armoury, because obviously you can't build a Goliath without an armoury. Unless it's cheating, of course, but we don't cheat. Oh, they do have a Battlecruiser. Yeah, this is what happens when your Battlecruiser isn't General Dukes and you just sit there slugging it out with Goliaths. That happens.
Jacked up and good to go. What?
And Duke has got his 250 up, so I think we can call that one happy camper. And that is pretty much going to be it. We've just got to do some hoovering on the... We've just got to do some hoovering at the end.
Additional supply depots required.
Oh, one more. For the record, have another Yamato cannon. And now we've just got to do the search and destroy pretty much at this point. Oh, there's a Battlecruiser over there. Oh, yeah, Battlecruiser.
Coordinates received.
Wraiths, deal with it. I'm going to cloak as well, just so the Battlecruiser has no idea what's about to happen to it.
Roger.
Yeah, the AI not using Battlecruisers like they should be. Say goodnight. And of course we find the rogue starbase, as it were. And actually, if you look in the top left, there's a huge quantity of resource up there, and there was a very small base up there as well. That's somewhere where you can potentially expand to. But this is going to be the last building, I believe, and that should do it. So we should be able to commence the invasion of Tarsonis. Maybe. Is that the last building? Please? Maybe not. Let's send the Wraiths on a scouting mission and see if I can find anything. Gotta be something somewhere. Aha! What are you? Ah, you're a missile turret. Oh, just to make it worse, you can actually see the Wraiths. Never mind. Oh, 2 missile turrets. Just great. Die. Let me end this mission, please.
This is Duke. The emitters are secured and online.
Who authorized the use of psi emitters?
I did, Lieutenant.
What? The Confederates on Antigua were bad enough, but now you're going to use the Zerg against an entire planet? This is insane.
She's right, man. Think this through.
I have thought it through. Believe me. You all have your orders. Carry them out.
And there you have it. The transition of Arcuturus men from rebel to fanatic is complete. Turns out Raynor's suspicions were correct, and Kerrigan's loyalty at this point is shattered. See you next time, guys.